Hello friends, my name is Dan Graham. I'm back for another tutorial on the basic elements of ETM. The first tutorial dealt with tasks. This tutorial deals with the other ETM reminder types, events, journal entries, and inbox entries. Let's turn first to events. All events in ETM have an @s entry for the scheduled date or date time. So that falls into two types, those with scheduled dates and those with scheduled date times. Those with scheduled dates can effectively be thought of as events that last all day. Examples would be holidays like Christmas, anniversaries, birthdays, that sort of thing. Let's begin by creating a simple event with a scheduled date. So as always, Shift in, create a new item. This is going to be an event, and in this case, Joe's birthday. The scheduled date for this will be the date Joe was actually born. So 2020. 2020, May the 5th. And it's going to repeat yearly on that same date. So let's save that and take a look. Now, before we go on to consider events with date times, scheduled date times, let me show you a little wrinkle about Joe's birthday that's quite often useful. Let's open it for editing. And I'm going to insert here this crazy symbol, brackets around 3 X's. This is only chosen because it wouldn't normally show up in any other context. This is called an anniversary expansion, and I'll press Control S to save this, and you can see what happens to it. It changes into Joe's 3rd birthday. So each year on his birthday, this will show the actual number. So next year at this same time, it'll be Joe's 4th birthday. This can be a handy thing when you have memory challenges about remembering exactly when somebody was born and how old they're currently going to be. Now let's create an event that has a scheduled date time. So as always, Shift in to create the new reminder. Asterisk for an event type, dentist appointment. When's this going to happen? Scheduled for Thursday at 10 a.m. And it's supposed to last, the extent would be 1 hour. So that's the basic event. Before I leave it though, let's suppose that I know that I'm also going to have another scheduled appointment in November. And so let me go ahead and enter that now. I can add another date time, to this one by just entering the date and time. So November the 2nd, and this will occur at 9 a.m. That's the scheduled time. So let me, before I save this, show us kind of a shortcut. So I'm going to press Control R and show the repetitions for this event. And you can see Thursday, May the 4th, 10 a.m. and Thursday, November the 2nd at 9 a.m. That's all there is to it. Control S to save. And now that shows up in this week's view. Before we leave events, let me show you one other view that's very useful in this context. I'm going to press B, lowercase b, to go to Busy View. And you see this shows me in a graphical kind of way all the events I have scheduled for this week. Actually, it would show tasks too if they are scheduled and have an extent associated with them. Now in this view, if I press the right and left cursor keys, they take me back and forth to different weeks, and the space bar, as always, takes me to the current week. Now in this view, if I press the down cursor key, it will go to the first day in this week that has items scheduled, and then show me the details, the time, so forth, for the things that are scheduled on that day. If I had more things scheduled, they would all show up, and if there were a conflict overlapping busy times, then the overlap would show up in the color red, so it makes it very visible. Now the next thing I want to talk about are journal entries, and to do that, let's switch to journal view by pressing J. Now you can see that I've already entered some journal entries here, so you won't have to put up with me bumbling around on the keyboard trying to type this stuff out. Let me begin by discussing the way this is organized. The daily 2023 is the index entry: favorite campsite, favorite poems, favorite quotes. Again, these are index entries. And let me go to South Mountain and just show you how that looks. So here is the actual index entry at favorite/campsites, and you can see that causes that hierarchy. I'm pressing, I'll go to Shakespeare now, poems, under poems, and hit return to show the details for that. And again, favorite poems. Down here under How to and DaVinci Resolve, again the index entry, How to DaVinci Resolve. So journal entries are a kind of a nice way to just keep a record of things you don't want to forget, every kind of thing, and it's organized by the index entry. Now this is a special one, the daily and its subclassifications. Let's go to one of the entries there. ETM basics, tasks. These are my notes for the previous tutorial. Now, here you might be surprised somewhat to see that the index entry is just daily. So where did the year and month and in fact day come from? It came from the scheduled date time entry for this task, for this journal entry. Now, how did that all happen? Well, there is an option that you can set in ETM called journal name. This is one of the options that's set in the config YAML file, the basic configuration file for ETM. And in this case, the journal name is set to the default, which is daily. Now what happens when you enter an index entry daily, when that is the journal name, and when that index entry has a scheduled date or date time associated with it, then ETM will automatically expand the index entry to include the year and month. And then that will result in all these and the appropriate entries being grouped under that. And so that's what you see going on in this case. So let's look to ETM basics. Same deal, just daily. But the date, the 2023 4/29, and so it gets grouped under 2023 and month 4. And in fact, the items in this are ordered by the date, the month day. The rest of the organization here is just supposed to give you some ideas. Under favorite, I've got campsites, notes about a state park that I liked a lot, a favorite poem, a favorite quote by Churchill, give me a pig. Um, you can think of other favorites, recipes, books, movies, just anything like that that you want to keep track of, not forget. Here in under DaVinci Resolve and How To are some notes on how to convert audio from stereo to mono in Fairlight by double clicking on pan and changing the spread from full to punt, PNT. That's just something that I need to do from time to time, and I naturally usually forget how to do it. And so it's very convenient to have a place that I can keep all these kinds of notes. And I'm sure you can think of other things that you would like to store in here as well. Now, the final type of reminder that I want to talk about is the inbox item. So let me just press Shift in to create a new reminder. I'm going to type the exclamation point, which is the type character for an inbox item. And here I can just put in anything quickly without thinking about all the details. So I'm going to have lunch with Alex on Friday. But we haven't scheduled a date or a place to meet. So it's not a complete. So I'm going to put it as an inbox item. I'll press Control S to save and go back to agenda view, and you can see that lunch with Alex appears here on the current date, and it will continue to appear on the current date. Tomorrow, Tuesday, it will be under Tuesday. The next day on Wednesday, it'll be under Wednesday. It'll be there to remind me that I haven't yet finalized this date to have lunch with Alex until I actually do so. So when I figure out the location and time, I can edit this, change it to an event, change the exclamation point to an asterisk, put in the correct date and time, and I'll be done. So this is just a quick placeholder reminder that something belongs in the inbox. It hasn't yet been completed. So that's it for the second tutorial. Appreciate your attention. I'll see you for the next one. Thank you.